loss or alopecia is a problem that I often get asked about. What can we do for hair loss? How can we grow new hair?
Okay, let's pause right there for a second. I want to welcome you, vitality enthusiasts. Today we're featuring Barbara O'Neill, and as your health advocate and as a vitality specialist, we're diving into the topic that's close to home for so many of us, hair loss. And you know that sinking feeling when you see more hair in the drain than you do on your head? Well, Barbara has some eye-opening information for you. Those expensive treatments that you've been trying, they might not be the answer. In fact, they could be doing more harm than good. But don't you worry, we've got your back. I've been researching and studying, and I'm here to share some industry secrets that'll make you rethink everything you know about hair loss. So we're going to explore natural remedies that are so effective, and they're shaking up the whole hair world. And if you're ready to learn how to nurture your hair from the inside out, stick around, because Barbara O'Neill is about to show you how to work with your body instead of against it for a healthier, fuller head of hair. Trust me, this is information you do not want to miss. So let's jump back into the video.
Well, first of all, we have to put the detective hat on and find out why there is hair loss. So what would be some of the most common causes of hair loss? Well, one friend of mine, she always dyed her hair. Her hair, she was showing grey hair from a very early age, and so from about the age of 30, she began to dye her hair. Now you can get a hair dye made of henna, and henna is a plant that can dye your hair, and that is not toxic. But my friend did not use that one. She used a chemical hair dye, and little by little it was killing off her follicles where the hair grows. So it can be chemicals on the hair. Another friend of mine did not like her very curly hair, and so all her life, from probably about her late teens right up until her 50s, she straightened her hair. Now the solutions that they use to straighten the hair, or for people with straight hair that want curly hair, it is a very toxic chemical. So what happens is, if a person wants to straighten their hair, what the hairdresser does is pull the hair over great big rods like that. And so the curly hair that's this curly, of course, gets pulled over them, and that straightens it. But if a person's got straight hair and they want curly hair, well, the rods are that big and they stretch the hair around and around and around. So whether it's to straighten the hair or whether it's to curl the hair, they put this toxic solution on. It's a strong chemical, and what it does is it breaks all the little joints in the hair, because hair has all these little joints like this. So what it does is it breaks the joints, and then it's molded, of course, around either there for the curl or there for the straight. And then when all of those little bonds are broken and it's been stretched into a certain shape, they rinse off that chemical, and then they put another chemical on to set it. So to set the bonds together, and then that sets the hair structure as straight or as curly. So basically that's how the hair is permed. When I first left school at the age of 16, I was a hairdresser for about 4 years, and we used to do a lot of perms. And that's how they perm hair, whether it be straight or whether it be curly. But when those chemicals are constantly going on the hair, little by little, they kill the hair follicles. I have also seen in some areas where people braid their hair really, really tightly. You'll often see that they've got hair loss around here, where you've got that weight, you've got that constant weight on the hair, which can really just keep pulling the hair out, and then the follicles are damaged. So no matter how it happens, we must stop what is causing the damage. That's the first one. If you don't turn the tap off, you're still mopping up in the other corner. Sometimes I see hair loss in a hormonal imbalance. So if it's a hormonal imbalance, then the hormones must be balanced back again. And that's where the Anna's Wild Yam Cream. I have a presentation on balancing the hormones, and you can Google my name and watch that, and it will show you that the Anna's Wild Yam Cream is a cream that when it's regularly applied twice a day, it balances those hormones back and can cause that hair to grow back again. Sometimes high stress, if someone goes through a very stressful situation, one of the reactions can be hair loss. So what can you do to bring it back again? There's one more that I didn't mention, and that's anemia. If a person is anemic, it can cause hair loss. So what's anemic? Anemic means very low iron in the blood. And anemia can be caused because of heavy blood loss at period time. A lot of women suffer from that, and that can cause anemia, and the anemia can cause the hair loss. So to resolve that, again, watch my lecture on hormones, boost the progesterone, get the estrogen down, then there won't be the heavy blood loss every month, and the person won't be anemic anymore, and so again, the hair can grow. Another cause of anemia can be low hydrochloric acid, because iron is bound up in food and it needs acid to liberate it from food. So it's very important that the person ensure they have nice strong hydrochloric acid. A simple way to ensure that is to have a quarter of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper in a little bit of water before every meal. If you're finding that a little bit hard, you can have the juice of a lemon before every meal. Important to leave a break between meals. Important not to drink water with your meals because that dilutes the hydrochloric acid. Also important to have a very happy, relaxed environment at the meal table. I target those points in more detail on my lecture on the gut. So the causes of hair loss can be anemia, it can be high stress, it can be a hormonal imbalance, and it can be damage that's just physical damage that has been done to the hair follicles.
Okay, I want to break in here and talk about something you use every single day that Barbara O'Neill does not mention in this video. It might be secretly sabotaging your hair health. I promise we'll get back to Barbara in just a moment, but you'll want to stick around for Barbara's special hair ointment recipe that you can make and use at home after my quick comments here. So, you know those fancy shampoos that you've been splurging on? The ones that promise of salon quality shine and volume? Well, I hate to break it to you, but they might be doing more harm than good. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Ricky, I've been using these expensive products for years. They must be good for my hair, right? Well, let me tell you a little secret that big hair companies don't want you to know. It's about what's hiding in that ingredient list. So grab a bottle of shampoo that you've been using and take a look at the label. I bet you'll find something called sodium lauryl sulfate, or SLS for short. It's in almost every shampoo out there, even the pricey ones. And here's the thing. SLS is what makes your shampoo foam up and feel luxurious, but it's also stripping away all the natural oils that keep your scalp and hair healthy. It's like using a power washer on a delicate flower. It might look clean, but you're doing some serious damage. Our bodies are amazing at taking care of themselves when we give them the right tools. Your scalp produces natural oils that nourish and protect your hair. But when you use shampoos with SLS, you're washing away all the good stuff and leaving your hair and scalp vulnerable. So this can lead to dry, brittle hair and irritated scalps. You might be wondering, if SLS is so bad, why is it in everything? Well, that's a great question. The truth is it's cheap and it gets the job done, but at what cost? So don't worry. I'm not just here to tell you the bad news. I've got some alternatives that'll make your hair jump for joy. First things first, ditch those SLS-laden shampoos. Look for products that use natural cleansers instead. Coconut oil-based shampoos are a great option. They're gentle on your scalp and they won't strip away those precious natural oils. When you do this, your hair will breathe a sigh of relief. No more itchy scalp, no more frizz, and your hair might actually start looking healthier. And the best part, you won't be spending a fortune on these fancy products anymore. Now, I want you to imagine something for me. Picture your hair in its healthiest state, shiny, full of life, with a scalp that feels comfortable and nourished. That's what we're aiming for here. And trust me, it's totally achievable once you kick those SLS products to the curb. So here's the thing. It's not just about what you put on your hair, it's about nourishing your body from the inside out. So pay attention. Let's jump right back to Barbara and see what she has to say.
And so depending on what the cause is, the anemia, you can strengthen the hydrochloric acid, balance the hormones. But what can you do to the scalp to encourage the hair to grow again? You can make a mix that you can put on your hair. And this mix is, let's make up the mix. So half a cup of coconut oil and half a cup of castor oil. Castor oil is a very thick oil, but castor oil penetrates deeper than any other oil. So when that is put onto the scalp, it penetrates even deeper. Coconut oil is a very nourishing oil. It's an antifungal oil, antibacterial oil. But what you also can put with that, so now you've got a cup of oil there. To that cup of oil, you can add 10 drops of rosemary essential oil. Rosemary is a herb that's specific for the scalp. Rosemary essential oil. So you could make up this mix in a jar and mix it very, very well, and maybe once a week you massage it into the scalp. Your hair will be very oily, of course, but you massage it into the scalp. Just even the massaging into the scalp stimulates blood supply to the hair follicles. That castor oil penetrates very deep, and wherever it penetrates, it can revive life into that area. And the coconut also is a very nourishing oil, and the rosemary essential oil stimulates. Every herb stimulates different parts of the body, and this rosemary herb is specific for the scalp. The massaging, so leave it in as much as you can. Maybe you choose a Sunday when you may be going to be home all day, and at the end of the day you wash out. Now you might need to put shampoo on a couple of times to get all that oil out. Just use a little bit of hot water and then a nice amount of shampoo. And if it's still a little bit greasy, maybe shampoo it again. Now that...
Okay, I just want to break in here again real quick to remind you to read your shampoo labels closely and avoid sodium lauryl sulfate. Coconut oil-based shampoos are a great option here. It might be a little harder to find, but if you're worried about your hair, it's worth the hunt. So let's jump back to Barbara.
What's also important, here are some additions to the treatment. So additions to using this once a week. I mean, if you're home a lot, you might even do it twice a week. Exercise. What exercise does is it increases the circulation of the blood to the extremities, and the scalp is considered an extremity. So exercise daily, especially the high intensity interval training. The high intensity interval training, because of the periods of very high intensity, that really gets the blood moving out to the extremities. So that should be done daily. And hydration, keep well hydration. Remember the rule of thumb is 8 glasses to 100 pounds body weight.
Okay, I want to stop Barbara here one more time so I can mention sleep. In a different video where Barbara is teaching about hair, she teaches that sleep and stress are huge factors to recovery. So getting at least 8 hours of sleep per night is critical because it helps your cells repair and rejuvenate. And so if you want to improve your scalp and hair, you need rejuvenation time. Managing stress is also key because stress can contribute to hair loss. Try meditation, deep breathing, or yoga. Not only will it be great for your scalp and your hair health, but it can do wonders for other areas of your health. You will likely see big changes in your whole body health if you will commit to doing this. So another idea is to give yourself a scalp massage regularly. It can increase blood flow and stimulate your hair follicles. Just massage your hair and scalp with your fingertips going in small circles. You can do this with or without the hair mix that Barbara talked about earlier. So now let's jump back to Barbara as she expands a bit more about how rosemary is specific for your scalp. So let's jump back to Barbara.
Now, the herb that is a specific for all scalp issues, so we might look at scalp for a moment. For all scalp issues is rosemary. And this is rosemary essential oil. The essential oils are expensive, but please remember that it takes about a whole bucket of the herb to get almost one drop of the oil, so no wonder they're expensive. But it's important to remember that, realizing that they're also very, very strong. So your scalp herb is your rosemary. Does it have to be an essential oil? You can make a tea with that, but of course it won't be as strong. But then again, you could bring it to the boil and slowly simmer a lot of rosemary in a little water, and you can certainly make it a lot stronger. So anything to do with the head, you would use rosemary essential oil. So with the scalp, we've got a few issues there, and one can be head lice. So with head lice, you can paint the scalp with slippery elm. You put water with it to make it like a soft gel, but with head lice, so we're looking at slippery elm, these are all the things you can do with slippery elm when we're looking at the scalp. So with slippery elm, if you're going to use it for head lice, you've got to put something in there that's incredibly strong. So you can use thyme oil. So thyme essential oil is very, very strong, and the head lice hate it. So what you can do is you could make, let's say for this you would do half a cup of slippery elm, and in that half a cup you might put 1.5 cups of water. So in that mix you might put probably 6 drops of thyme essential oil, and that's very, very strong, but you've got about 1.5 cups of gel. And how would you paint the scalp? What you do is and before I was a psychiatric nurse, I was a hairdresser. So when we used to dye hair, we'd divide the head into sections, and then we'd put the comb in and paint one bit, and then paint another bit, and then paint another bit. So you get the gist, so that the whole head is covered with this mixture that can kill head lice. And then you would keep that all wrapped up. You could put a shower cap on or plastic bag round and tie it in a knot. You would want to keep it there for about 4 hours. So head lice, it can be used for that. What about if someone's got very dry scalp, dandruff, or sometimes psoriasis in the scalp? The slippery elm can be excellent for cleaning that up and nourishing it. So what you would do then is you'd do a similar amount of this, but this time you'd put the rosemary essential oil in, because the rosemary essential oil is very nourishing to the scalp. So let's say dry scalp, eczema. Some people do experience eczema in the scalp.
Okay, I want to pop in here one more time and talk about an herb that Barbara didn't mention. And this is a powerful herb that so many people use, horsetail herb. So horsetail herb sometimes is misspelled as horsetail. It's a plant traditionally used for its medicinal properties, including potential benefits for hair health and even cognitive function. So it's like getting 2 benefits in one herb. Let's talk about the properties of horsetail herb. It's got antioxidant properties. The herb contains antioxidants like flavonoids, which can help combat oxidative stress. It can improve circulation, which some studies suggest that horsetail may improve blood circulation, which could support oxygen flow that helps your brain and your scalp. It's loaded with silica for hair strength. So horsetail's high silica content also benefits the hair health by promoting stronger, more resilient hair. And silica supports collagen production, which is a key component for maintaining healthy skin and hair follicles. And it also has DHT blocker. So hair loss, especially in men, is often caused by DHT. It's a hormone that shrinks the hair follicles, and some suggest that the antioxidants in horsetail may help reduce DHT levels. It also nourishes the hair follicles. So horsetail contains trace minerals and other nutrients like selenium, calcium, and potassium, which may improve hair growth by nourishing the scalp and promoting healthier follicles. It's also known as an anti-inflammatory. So horsetail has mild anti-inflammatory properties, which could help soothe the scalp issues such as dandruff or irritation that may contribute to hair thinning and loss. So horsetail herb has a long history of traditional use for strengthening the hair. Now, before we go back to Barbara, some final words. I want to mention that sometimes your hair can be dramatically affected by thyroid hormones. So refer back to the description in this video for a download link to a free book that I give you on hormone health. So let's jump back to Barbara. And again, if you think your hair loss it could be related to your thyroid, especially if you have dry, cracked skin on your feet. And if you're falling asleep in the middle of the day, you might want to have your thyroid checked because that contributes to hair loss dramatically. Okay, back to Barbara for the final words in this video.
Thank you for joining me today as we explored natural remedies for promoting hair growth. Remember, taking care of your hair involves nurturing your body from within and ensuring a healthy scalp environment. By incorporating these natural treatments into your routine, you can support optimal hair health and growth, where we'll continue to explore ways to enhance your well-being naturally. Until next time, take care and be well.